APJ Abdul Kalam. Read and enjoy. Let us read the biography of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I was born into a middle-class Tamil family on the island town of Rameshwaram. My father, Jainul Abdin, had neither much formal education nor much wealth. Despite these disadvantages, he possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. He had a perfect helpmate in my mother, Ashiyamma. I do not recall the exact number of people she fed every day, but I am quite certain that far more outsiders ate with us than all the members of our own family put together. My parents were widely regarded as an ideal couple. My mother's lineage was the more distinguished, one of her forebears having been bestowed the title of Bahadur by the British. I was one of many children, a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. We lived in our ancestral house, which was built in the middle of 19th century. It was a fairly large pucca house made of limestone and bricks, on the Mosque Street in Rameshwaram. My strict father used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxuries. However, all necessities were provided for, in terms of food, medicines or clothes. In fact, I would say mine was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. I normally ate with my mother, sitting on the floor of the kitchen. She would place a banana leaf before me, on which she had ladled rice and aromatic sambar, a variety of sharp homemade pickles and a dollop of fresh coconut chutney. The famous Shiva temple, which made Rameshwaram so sacred to pilgrims, was about a 10-minute walk from our house. Our locality was mainly Muslim, but there were quite a few Hindu families too, living in friendly manner with their Muslim neighbors. There was a very old mosque in our locality where my father would take me for evening prayers. I had not the faintest idea of the meaning of the Arabic prayers song, but I was totally convinced that they reached God. When my father came out of the mosque after the prayers, people of different religions would be sitting outside, waiting for him. Many of them offered bowls of water to my father, who would dip his fingers in them and say a prayer. This water was then carried home for invalids. I also remember people visiting our home to offer thanks after being cured. My father always smiled and asked them to thank Allah, the kind and merciful. The high priest of Rameshwaram temple, Pakshi Lakshmana, was a very close friend of my father. One of the most clear memories of my childhood is of the two men, each in his traditional clothing, discussing spiritual matters. When I was old enough to ask questions, I asked my father about the relevance of prayer. When you pray, he said, you transcend your body and become a part of the cosmos, which knows no division of wealth, age, caste or creed. An extract from Wings of Fire, an autobiography of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam.